should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just
And now, Mike's thoughts.
Let's flash back to about 2 weeks ago. Let's flash back to the beginning of March. Let's flash back to about Valentine's Day. Let's flash back to the time when everybody and their dog threw Xavier Worthy under the bus. Let's flash back to the day that Xavier Worthy was the scum of the earth. Let's flash back to the day that Xavier Worthy was arrested for alleged domestic violence. It quickly came out that he was strangling this woman. He was being held in jail without bond for that particular time. Couple hours passed, a day passed, whatever it was, it came out that Xavier Worthy was the one being abused. Xavier Worthy's ex-fiance was the one strangling him. Now, TMZ had released pictures of Xavier Worthy's hair. The woman pulled Xavier Worthy's hair out of his head, destroyed his gaming room, destroyed his computer, and a bunch of other stuff. Now, I said it once and I'll say it again. Everybody and their dog deserves to apologize to Xavier Worthy, because everybody and their dog threw Xavier Worthy under the bus before any facts came out, especially ESPN, especially other people that wrote out those articles, especially everybody that was saying, oh, a typical black man beating his wife, he's a Kansas City Chiefs. Stop it. Guys, I need you to go to Xavier Worthy's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever he is on. And if you talk shit on him, say, hey man, my mistake. Apologize to him, because those pictures of his hair, the man is bald in spots. He has 4 or 5 bald spots. That gaming room computer is destroyed. The desk is broken, the computer shattered, the speakers are thrown everywhere. Guys, Xavier Worthy was dating a crazy woman. Let's just be honest. She was crazy. She was batshit crazy. And now this woman wants to come out and sue him for defamation and all this other crap. Woman, you better be lucky that you're not in jail right now. Woman, you better be lucky that the only thing that you're going to get is a slap on the wrist, because you are batshit crazy. Because I'm telling you, everybody needs to go out there and apologize to Xavier Worthy. And domestic violence does go both ways. Women beat on men a hell of a lot more than men beat on women. Let's just be honest. But us as men are scared to admit it. We're scared to call the police. We are scared to say, yeah, I get beat by this woman. It happens both ways. Guys, it is okay to call. Xavier Worthy, we are sorry for jumping to conclusions. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah. From the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting.
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckcusher here with the Man. I'm sure the manhourradio.com. Guys, get yourself some merch. We got a nice little hoodie merch, right? It is starting to get that springtime where it's warm in the afternoon once the sun starts to go down and gets a little crisp in the air. A beautiful time. I love it. It's springtime, but get those springtime hoodies, guys. This is a lightweight hoodie. Bada bing, bada boom. It can be in there in the middle of 4 days. You order it today, it'll be in there in 4 days. But guys, just know that in the hoodie season, right, we are going to let hoodies go for about another week, maybe 2. But once April 11th hits, hoodies are gone. Hoodies are gone. So if you guys want a hoodie, go to manhourradio.com, click on the merchandise page. You guys get yourself a hoodie today. Get yourself a hoodie today. But guys, it is Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, 9:05 time on the East Coast time, and we got a great show for you on today. We're going to talk about Cam Ward's excellent pro day. Excelente pro dato. I'm not very good with Spanish, but it says excellent day. And then JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy is not starting quarterback for Minnesota Vikings. What? Slow it down, baby. And the Packers want to propose a new rule to take away the Tush Push. Do we like it? Do we not like it? And of course, we got to talk a little bit about Nick Chubb. Then we got buy or sell a little bit. Then we end the show with a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. Quarterback version. Before we get too carried away, we have to welcome some people in the chat. We have to welcome the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Pigskin Pundit himself.
Get you some.
Old Man River says, are you hearing the quarterback controversy? Hearing they have a quarterback controversy in New York. Russell Wilson has officially signed a 1-year, $10.5 million deal in New York. Oof. Guys, this has just come to fruition with what the last the last hour or so, right? And many people thought that Aaron Rodgers was going to be the man, the myth, the legend in New York. Aaron Rodgers piddle-dicked around. I don't think he even visited with the Giants, to be honest. But the Giants have been making some moves. They bring in Jameis Winston, sign him to a 2-year, $8 million deal, and then they just signed Russell Wilson to a 1-year, $10.5 million deal with upwards to like $20 million, I think, is with incentives and whatnot. So potentially a $20 million deal, which is exactly what Russell Wilson was asking for. Now, when we hear this signing of Russell Wilson to the New York Giants, the Giants hold the 3rd overall pick, if I'm not mistaken. No. They're more down, aren't they? Because it goes Titans, Browns, and then Jets, right? Like, either way, the Giants hold a top 10 draft pick. And I was speculating that they were going to go out there and they were going to get a Shedeur Sanders, right? They are number 3, right? They are number 3. Jets are down more. I was expecting they were going to go get a Shedeur Sanders, right? I was expecting that they might trade back and get a Jackson Dart. Now, Old Man River, I'm hearing you $10.5 million, right? It sounds like a great deal. Like, you know what? That's pocket change for a quarterback. That's pocket change for a quarterback. It is nothing to have a $10.5 million backup. It's nothing to have a $4 million backup. And why not have Shedeur Sanders still in New York? Why not go out there and still draft Shedeur Sanders and then have a backup like Russell Wilson and then a mentor like Jameis Winston, right? I mean, honestly, New York has kind of like put themselves in a proper position to go out there and get Shedeur Sanders 100%. Now, he may not fall to number 3. Let's do not get it twisted. He may not fall to number 3. The Cleveland Browns might go out there and get Shedeur Sanders. If Cam Ward happens to drop, the Cleveland Browns better go out there and get Cam Ward. But New York Giants fans, are you excited about this? Does this get the motor going, baby? Does this want to say, hey, baby, we here? Listen, anytime you sign a quarterback for $10 million, that 100% does not get the motor going. That 100% does not get the motor going at all. $10 million is a backup quarterback. Hell, $10 million is a practice squad quarterback. $10 million is an emergency third-string quarterback that you have on your roster now. Guys, if I'm a New York Giants fan, I am not excited. I'm actually kind of pissed off. I'm a wee bit pissed off. There's a reason why the Cleveland Browns did not want Russell Wilson. Yes, those Cleveland Browns. There's a reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers decided, like, thanks but no thanks. We'll stick with Mason Rudolph. There's a reason why the Tennessee Titans did not go after Russell Wilson and other quarterback needy teams. Jets. Simple fact of the matter is, guys, that Russell Wilson is a backup. New York Giants fans, throw your hands up. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You can say he's a bridge gap guy. You can say he is there for mentorship. You can say whatever you want. But in the back of his mind, back of Russell Wilson's mind, with his hot-ass wife in Sierra, right? He's thinking he is going to be the starter in New York. He thinks he is going to put on that blue jersey, number 3, and he is going to be the starter in New York. He is not going to want to mentor Shedeur Sanders. He is not going to want to mentor Tommy DeVito. He is not going to want to bring along like a Trey Lance or whoever, right? He is there to be a starting quarterback. The New York Giants, I had high hopes for you this offseason. I thought the New York Giants were going to do it. I thought the New York Giants were finally going to maybe go into the playoffs, right? I thought they had a good team. Well, I still think they have a good team. I think they are a quarterback away. They have an underrated defense, and their offense is getting better and better and better. Russell Wilson's been in this situation before. Just don't suck, my man. And what do? He sucked for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Guys, New York Giants fans, you guys have got to be scratching your head. I'm scratching your head. How does this make sense? How does signing not only Jameis Winston, but now Russell Wilson, and then you're going to draft another quarterback? Like, why? If you wanted to bring in Jameis Winston, if you wanted to bring in Russell Wilson, why get rid of Daniel Jones? Why get rid of Danny Dimes? They're the same as that guy, just older. Let's just be honest. Same as that guy, just a wee bit older, a lot older. The New York Giants need a flashy quarterback. They need somebody to hold up their watch and say, look at my time, baby. Look at this watch. I spent 100 G's on it. They need a Shedeur Sanders. They need a Cam Ward. They need that flashy guy. It is what it is. It fits perfectly in New York. Take the spotlight off of Dayball and Schoen and the rest of that general manager that just absolutely sucks, right? How can you be excited for the New York Giants? How can you be excited? And James Frank says, so does this take Shedeur off the board for New York? That is a great question. I mean, it has to, right? Now, let's not get it twisted. This draft for quarterbacks sucks. It's not Cam Ward's fault. It's not Shedeur Sanders' fault. But if those two guys were in last year's draft, they would be the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th quarterbacks coming off the board. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is not their fault that they are just in a shitty draft class. But James Frank, what's up, man? First of all, long time no see. Glad you're here tonight. This has to take Shedeur Sanders off the board, right? I mean, granted, I don't think Shedeur Sanders is going to get past the Cleveland Browns anyways, but this definitely puts the Giants out of quarterback drafting conversations. And honestly, the more I think about this, like, obviously, this is off of the cuff. We just heard about this in the last 30, 40 minutes, right? I haven't had time to prepare or really dissect of what's happening, right? But if you think about this, maybe the Giants are making a play that they think Shedeur Sanders is going to go second off of the board. Maybe the Giants are thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, we were not going to get our quarterback. And Jackson Dart drafting at number 3, that's a little hot. Slow it down, baby. So let's go out there and get Russ. Yes, we might suck. Yes, Brian Daboll might be out after this season. Yes, Russ will certainly be out next season. But hey, if it guarantees us a top overall pick and get Arch Manning next season, why not? Is this the Giants' way of tanking without tanking? Bringing in Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson? Is this the way of saying, hey, guys, we're trying. Just the free agent quarterback market sucks and this draft sucks, so it's tough. But guys, that is tough. I'm just lost for words. I'm lost for words. But let's jump back into the chat here, guys. Let's see what everybody's saying here. Let's see what everybody's saying. Old Man River says, with the bridge quarterback in Winston's not a bridge quarterback, Old Man River. Let's just be honest. Jameis Winston is there strictly for morale, a camp body, and a third-string emergency quarterback. He is Ryan Fitzpatrick-esque. He is not there to start. He is not there to mentor. He's not there to bridge anything. He's there to suck. Get your first overall pick. But hey, it is what it is. And old member says, what was the deal with Winston? Or what was Winston's deal? It was 2 years, $8 million. So roughly $4 million a season. It is, it's just, that's tough. That is tough. James Frank says, I want to hear the talks between Winston and Wilson. Oh, to have Hard Knocks on right now, right? How to have Hard Knocks on right now. That would be fire, wouldn't it? Got my man Alpha Rob in the chat today as well. What's up, Alpha Rob? What's up? He says, with Russ, Dayball, they're done after this season. And Alpha Rob, like, I wonder who approached who? Did Brian Dayball? First of all, what is the general manager name? Like, is it Sean? I can never remember his name. Did Brian Dayball approach Sean and be like, hey, I think Russell Wilson is our guy. We need to bring in Russ. Or was Sean's like, hey, I want to bring in Russ. Listen, this is a recipe for disaster. Russell Wilson showed last year that he just doesn't have it anymore. Yes, he had a couple moon balls in him, but that's about it. He cannot throw the ball 40 times a game. He doesn't want to hand the ball off anymore, and he's unwilling to kind of just be a backup, I think. Personally. That is the vibes that I get from Russ, right? And Brian Daboll is already on the hot seat. Probably should have been fired. Let's just be honest. Their general manager probably should have been fired last year as well. Maybe the ownership is it Woody Johnson? No, Woody Johnson is the Jets owner. Like whoever the owner is. Maybe they're just like, hey, let me bring in Russ. So now I have a reason to fire Brian, the general manager, and get Russ out of here. Plus we get Arch Manning. Maybe the Giants are playing chess. Maybe the Giants are out there trying to, wheel and deal a little bit. Maybe the Giants are kind of like, hey, baby, we here. But I doubt it. And Old Man River says Hunter would be a great pick for New York. But listen, the only team that I personally feel that should draft Travis Hunter is a team that is going to say you either going to be a defensive guy or you're going to be a wide receiver guy. There is none of this meshing, playing back and forth, playing both sides of the ball. I'm not saying Travis Hunter cannot play both sides of the ball in the NFL. I am not saying that. What I am saying is he needs to hone his craft on one side of the ball. He needs to become an elite receiver or he needs to become an elite defensive player and then dabble on the other side of the ball. If like a team like I believe it was the Tennessee Titans say we could, if we were to draft Travis Hunter, he would be playing both sides of the ball. You don't want that. And honestly, I don't think Travis Hunter wants that either. Travis Hunter needs a team that is say you are going to be a defensive player, you are going to be an offensive player, cut, dry, end of story. And the Giants need playmakers, right? They could add him on the defensive side of the ball. He's not a great receiver. He's a pretty damn good defensive player. But he would be a good pick if he's strictly on defense. Not both. James Frank. First of all, James, what's up, man? What's up? Hope you're doing okay, man. I know you have Kenny Pickett as your quarterback. I understand you guys just signed Myles Garrett to a massive deal. I understand that you guys are kind of in this limbo. Like, what do we do with our hands? We don't know. We're going to be talking about Nick Chubb here, James, in a little bit. So stay tuned for Nick Chubb. But James says Abdul Carter in New York would be a boast to that defense. And honestly, you are absolutely right. Abdul Carter is a game-changing defensive end. He is going to be put up there with the Micah Parsons. He is going to be put up there with the TJ Watts and the JJ Watts and the Bosa boys. He is said to be a generational talent, right? However, the defense, I think, is where the New York Giants have most of their meat, have most of their bread and butter, right? They have Dexter Lawrence II. They have Brian Burns. They picked up the they still have Kayvon Thibodeau, right? Where does he fit in? Do you knock Kayvon Thibodeau strictly to a linebacker and no more that edge rusher? Do you knock out Dexter Lawrence and strictly put him in like inside and no more playing 3 and 5 techs? It is tough. But obviously, you draft the best person on the board at that particular time. But yeah, Abdul Carter would be great in New York. Get pressure on Jaden Daniels. Get a pressure on Dak, on Jalen Hurts, right? They could cause havoc. I kind of like it. Old Man River says Hunter plays both ways. That's the flash you speak of. Old Man River, I don't care if Travis Hunter is the punter, kicker, long snapper, quarterback, wide receiver, and a quarterback. I don't care. I don't care if he was all-state at all six of those positions. I don't care if he was all-American at 3 of those positions. In the NFL, I want him to play one position. I want him to be a lockdown corner. I want him to be an elite quarterback, an elite receiver, or an elite kicker. None of this being average stuff. But let's just be honest. Travis Hunter was an average receiver and an average cornerback in the college ranks because he did not able to focus and hone his craft. He has the ability to be elite. He has the ability to be all pro. He has the ability to be the best corner or receiver in the NFL, period. He has the ability. But if you're going to split time, you're not going to get that ability. As my daddy always said, you can be a jack of all trades, but you're going to be a master of none. Let's just be honest. My man Alpha Rob says they're better off of getting Tannehill. Listen, I don't understand why the Tennessee Titans ever moved on from Ryan Tannehill. Let's just be flat out honest. When Ryan Tannehill came over from Miami to the Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill got better year after year after year. Well, he was there for like 5 or 6 years, right? Got better and better and better. Each and every time he stepped foot on that field, each and every series, each and every snap, each and every second, he got better and better and better. And then all of a sudden the Titans like, see ya. And I don't understand why they did that. I like Ryan Tannehill. I like him. Now, he is getting a little long in the tooth. His ears are getting a little dry, getting a little saggy, right? I mean, he's getting old, like Old Man River over there, pushing damn near 40. But let's just be honest. Ryan Tannehill has been a backup for the last couple seasons. Hell, I don't think he was on a roster last season, and I don't know why. Are you telling me that Ryan Tannehill is not better than Russell Wilson right now? Are you telling me that Ryan Tannehill is not better than Trey Lance, than Brian Allen, than Josh Dobbs, Jacoby Brissett? Are you telling me that Ryan Tannehill is not better than any of those guys, but yet they got jobs? Why is Ryan Tannehill getting blackballed from the NFL? Right? That is the real question. I feel like Ryan Tannehill is getting blackballed from the NFL. And it's because he has a smoking hot wife? Is it because, he has defined a few things? I don't know. But Alpha Rob asked the question is, who is older, Russell or Ryan Tannehill? And I just Googled it, and they're both 36 years old. They're both 36 years old. Russell Wilson's actually a little bit older. He was born in November 29th of 1988, and Ryan Tannehill was July 27th of 1988. So actually, Ryan Tannehill is 3 or 4 months older. But come on, Ryan Tannehill is better than Trey Lance, Josh Dobbs, Brian Allen, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph. Like, give the man a shot, right? Give the man a shot. We're giving Russell Wilson a shot when he was lost a step. We're thinking about giving Russell or Aaron Rodgers a shot when he has definitely lost 2 or 3 steps. He's 42 years old. Hell, we are looking at giving Josh Dobbs, astronaut man himself, another backup role after being on 17 teams. But no Ryan Tannehill? Come on, baby. Come on. Tannehill is definitely better than Kenny Pickett, says James Frank. And James, you are going to get to see a lot of Kenny Pickett. unless something crazy happens with Deshaun Watson from now until August, he gets touched by hands of an angel, or that marriage that he's getting ready to do, because I think did he just get engaged or got married? Either way, maybe that will heal him a little bit. Maybe she'll rub him out. I don't know. But Kenny Pickett is going to be the starting quarterback in Cleveland, unless they draft Jador Sanders. But come on, man. Come on. But guys, let's get into today's show. And let's talk about the potential number 1 overall pick. Let's talk about the potential team drafting in the number 1 overall position, and that is Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward had his pro day just the other day, and people say that he solidified the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft. And Titans general manager Mike Bogazzi says that he had definitely solidified the number 1 pick for the Tennessee Titans in the 2025 NFL draft. But we spoke on this a little bit yesterday, and now we're going to speak on it again today. Should the Titans actually draft Cam Ward number 1 overall? The more we look at the Tennessee Titans, the more we dive into the Tennessee Titans, the more we start to understand their needs and wants and desires in Nashville, Tennessee. They are in a world of hurt. Yes, the Tennessee Titans do, quote, need a quarterback. But let's just be honest. They have struck out on their last few quarterbacks, from Jake Locklear, Marcus Mariota, Malik Willis, and now maybe potentially Will Levis. They have struck out on those top quarterback draft picks that they've had. Now, Cam Ward did have a great pro day. There is no question about it. He had a great pro day. He made all the throws. He made great deep balls, and he showed the ability to able to roll the pocket and throw on the run. Well, guess what? A pro day, you are supposed to look great. At a pro day, you are supposed to look perfect. At a pro day, you are supposed to make all the throws. It is scripted to make you look like an elite level athlete. Sam Darnold had a great pro day. Where is he now? Yes, I understand he's with the Seahawks and signed a massive deal. But before that, where is he at? He was labeled a bust in New York. He was labeled a bust in Carolina. He got a little bit of redemption in San Francisco and a lot of redemption in Minnesota, but it took like 5-6 years down the road. Zach Wilson looked like an elite number 1 overall pick at his pro day. Zach Wilson was supposed to be a mid-tier first-round quarterback. Flew up to number 2. Where's Zach Wilson out? 3rd-string quarterback for the Miami Dolphins on his 3rd team in 3 years. Guys, pro days means nothing. I'm not trying to take anything away from Cam Ward. Let's not get it twisted. But if it was last year, he'd be number 4, number 5 quarterback coming off of the board. Now, he did not throw at the combine. From what he said, it was because he wanted to throw at the pro day and put more eyes on his teammates. The teammates that were not invited to the combine, the teammates that are fighting for those NFL roster spots, Cam Ward wanted to get those eyes of the pro scouts on him, which sounds like a great teammate, right? Sounds like a guy that you really want on your roster, a guy that you think is going to do anything and everything for your franchise. But did we forget what Cam Ward did in the Pro Bowl, in the Pop-Tarts Pro Bowl, or not Pro Bowl, but bowl game? Did we forget what Cam Ward did to his team in the bowl game of just this season? He played the first half just to break the NCAA all-time passing record. Then he sat out in the second half, said, my future's more important than winning this stupid little bowl game. You understand that those bowl games, sometimes people will never step on the field ever again. People will never have an opportunity to win a championship ever again. That could be their last game period of organized football period. And you're like, I'm better than you. Is that somebody you want on your team? Is that somebody that you want your franchise quarterback? Is that somebody that you think is going to turn around in Nashville, Tennessee and lead the Titans to the Super Bowl playoffs, a divisional championship? Slow it down, baby. Now, like I said earlier, 5-6 minutes ago, the Tennessee Titans do need a quarterback. They also need offensive line and a receiver and an edge rusher and a safety and a kicker. Long story short, they are a long ways away from competing in the AFC. Long story short, they are a long ways away from making it to the playoffs. Long story short, they are a long ways away from competing with teams like the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Pittsburgh Steelers, any playoff team in the NFL. They are a long, long way away from that. So what I am proposing, if you are a Tennessee Titans fan, and what am I proposing if you are interested of seeing a team actually grow from the ground up? The Tennessee Titans need to trade out of that number 1 overall pick. They need to move back to whether it's 4, whether it's 5, whether it's 7. They need to move back, period, end of story. As they would love to draft a quarterback. I don't think Cam Ward is a franchise-changing quarterback. I think if Cam Ward goes to the right situation, i.e. New York Giants, i.e. Miami Dolphins, i.e. Minnesota Vikings, i.e. Kansas City Chiefs, those established teams that are just that are a quarterback away, he can definitely do good things, much like Shedeur Sanders. But this year, you don't have that franchise-changing quarterback. You do not have that Andrew Luck. You do not have that Aaron Rodgers. You do not have that Tom Brady type of quarterback. It is what it is. I'm not saying that those kids suck, but I'm saying they do not deserve the number 1 overall pick. The Titans need to trade out of that number 1 overall pick. Let the Raiders come up there and overpay for a quarterback. Let the Jets come up there and overpay for a quarterback. Let the New York Football Giants move up 2 spots and get that number 1 overall pick and get Cam Ward, get their franchise guy, and you're sitting there at number 3, and you add a Abdur Carter. You add an offensive tackle. You add a prolific edge rusher or a tight end. The Tennessee Titans have so many holes that Cam Ward is not going to change the team. Now, I do think that Cam Ward will go number 1 overall. Do not take those words out of my mouth. I do think Cam Ward will go number 1 overall. I do not think he will go to the Tennessee Titans number 1 overall. I think the Tennessee Titans are looking to trade out of that number 1 overall pick. They are up there. They're gassing up Cam Ward. They're saying that he is a solidified number 1, which all eyes tell us that he is the best quarterback on the board. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you are the best player on the board. You're the best athlete on the board. You're the best fit for said team on the board. Guys, Cam Ward there will be a team out there. The Giants, the Jets, the Steelers, maybe the Steelers, the Raiders, other teams out there, potentially the San Francisco 49ers. They love going up and overpaying for quarterbacks, right? There's going to be a team out there that is willing to pay whatever price it takes to get the number 1 overall pick to get Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. And the Tennessee Titans need to be out there answering questions or answering phone calls. They need to be out there fielding and testing the market. They need to be out there saying, "Hey, what can we legitimately get for this number 1 overall pick?" And and it would not shock me one bit if they do that. So what do you guys think? Will the Tennessee Titans trade out of that number 1 overall pick, and will Cam Ward go number 1? That is the question of the day. James Frank says, Shedeur to the land is all I'm hoping for on a hope and a prayer. James, listen. The Browns are a lot closer than I think everybody realizes. I think the Browns are closer than a lot of people really want to admittedly admit, right? Yes, they had a bad season last year. Let's not forget, just 2 years ago, they were in the playoffs with a 5th-string quarterback at that particular time. A quarterback came off this couch, was retired, won 3 out of 4 games, won comeback player of the year. Yes, he got their dick smacked in the playoffs. Very, very hot rookie CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. But just 2 years ago, they were in the playoffs. I'm not saying that the Browns are a quarterback away. They are a quarterback and a receiver away and a backup running back away. The Browns are close. The Browns are a hell of a lot closer than the Titans are making the playoffs. The Browns are a hell of a lot closer than the Titans of winning a playoff game. The Browns are a hell of a lot closer to going to the Super Bowl than the Tennessee Titans. Now, I'm not saying that Shedeur Sanders takes the Cleveland Browns to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders wins the AFC North for the Cleveland Browns. But I am saying that they make them an 8 or 9 win team. I am saying that we're in conversations with them going into the playoffs. I am saying that we are in conversations of saying, hey, maybe Kevin Stefanski isn't such a bad coach after all, right? That is what I'm saying. Let's Go Sports is back in the chat today. What's up, Let's Go Sports? He says, Tennessee Titans aren't near contenders. They need a good positions around the quarterback before drafting a good quarterback. And that's exactly right. What do Jim, Mr. Pigskin Pundit himself, right?
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Jim says that, and I agree with him because I taught Jim this, that a average offensive line will make an elite quarterback look subpar. A great offensive line will make an average quarterback look top tier. So if the Tennessee Titans can add some offensive line help, surround Will Levis with the good offense of the line, Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans have a chance to win 6-7 games. Not saying they're playoff contenders, not saying they're Super Bowl contenders, not saying they're AFC South winning contenders. Although the South is pretty wide open, I'm saying you draft offensive line and you build around Will Levis just a little bit, and then if he isn't the guy, then move on next season. Next year's quarterback class looks a hell of a lot better than this year's quarterback class. Or you can even take a play out of the Pittsburgh Steelers playbook and draft Will Howard. I am going to be gassing up Will Howard for the next month. Until Will Howard goes off the board, every other tweet's going to be, y'all better pick Will Howard. Y'all better pick Will Howard. Y'all better pick Will Howard. But Let's Go Sports, you are right. That the Tennessee Titans are not near contenders right now. They need to build a team and then add a quarterback. So actually, let's have a conversation about that, guys. What do you think if you are a general manager of a team? Let's Go Sports is like in here. I see James, I see Alpha Rob, I see Old Man, River, Papa Buck is in here too. I see him. Guys, let's have that conversation. If you are a general manager, let's just say of a team out there, since we're talking about the Tennessee Titans, let's say you are the general manager of the Tennessee Titans. You need quarterback, you need offensive line, you need receiver. As a general manager, where are you going in this year's draft? We do not have a generational talent quarterback in this year's draft. We have very capable quarterbacks. Let's not get that crazy twisted, right? We have capable quarterbacks, but they're not going to go out there, not going to instantly do a Jaden Daniels type of flip on my team. But there are pretty good offensive linemen. There's a left tackle that is projected to go number 4 or number 5. There's offensive guards projected to go in the top 20. There's an edge rusher potentially is the best player on the board that is projected to go 4, 5, or 6. If you guys are the general manager of the Tennessee Titans, where are you going in this year's draft? Me personally, I am doing whatever it takes to get out of that number 1 spot. I am taking my 2 first-round picks and moving back 5 spots. I am taking my 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks, and I'm moving back to number 10. I am taking those 2 number 1 picks, 2 second-round picks, and a third-round pick, moving back down to 15, 16. I am moving out of that number 1 overall pick, no matter what it takes. And I am going to draft an offensive lineman. I am going to boast up that offensive line. It's simple as that. Offensive line are starting to play a hell of a lot longer. Tyron Smith seemed to be playing for like 20 years. I know it's been like, 11 years. But he has been the staple for the Dallas Cowboys for a very, very long time. Yes, he went over to the New York Jets, and now I don't know what team he's on. But offensive line is the way to go. It's simple as that. And if you say anything else, you are wrong. Like, Old Man River, you're wrong. Jim, you're wrong. Papa Buck, you're wrong. Like, What do you want me to tell you? You are wrong. And James is like my long-lost brother tonight. He says, O-line first. Put those pieces in place, then get your bread and butter. Then get that quarterback, baby. Building a NFL roster or a roster in general, right? Building a team in general is like putting a puzzle together. Yes, you can start on the middle, then work your way out. The middle being the quarterback, the center stone, the star of the puzzle being the quarterback. You can start on that, but everything is not going to take shape until you get that border put in place. The border being the offensive line. A smart puzzle pusher, like my wife, she's out there. She's probably inside doing a puzzle right now with her and the boys. Spring break is here. They're probably out there doing a puzzle. She's going to start on the border. That border's going to look nice. It may not look like a whole may not look like a whole lot, but I want to come back from work tomorrow, and then that center's going to start putting it in place. Going to start to work your way in there, right? You're the inside the border. Once you start getting that second, third, fourth layer in there, that is your edge. That is your edge rusher. That is your running back. That is your receivers. Those are the safeties, right? And then once you get in the middle, then you got your quarterback. Then you got your Mike linebacker. Then you got your big old Jack backer. Whether you want to call him a free safety, a Jack backer, Mike backer, whatever you want to call him. Right? Do the outside, work your way in. That is how you build a team. That is how you build a team, baby. Alpha Rob says the quarterback is the hardest part of the puzzle. As you are correct. The hardest part of the puzzle is the quarterback. However, there are some teams that are strictly built around a quarterback, i.e. the Chicago Bears, i.e. potentially the Washington Commanders, i.e. potentially the Dallas Cowboys. When that quarterback goes down, the whole team fumbles. When Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys are healthy, they are a 13-win regular season team. When Dak Prescott goes down, because the whole team's built around Dak Prescott, it sucks. They're not very good. But then you got systems like the San Francisco 49ers. Then you got systems like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then you got systems like the Minnesota Vikings. You got systems like the Kansas City Chiefs. If their quarterback were to go down, they can still survive because they built that border around them. They supported that quarterback, and bada bing, bada boom. Not too bad after all. Not too bad after all. And Old Man River says Houston owns the South. Houston owns the South. Not this year, baby. Jacksonville Jaguars are coming back. Going to the moon, baby. Speaking of going to the moon, the Minnesota Vikings. Is there a controversy happening in Minnesota right now? Is there something happening in Minnesota that we don't know about? Is there something happening in Minnesota that the Vikings fans are like, hey, shit, we suck again? Guys, JJ McCarthy has come out and said that the Vikings have not told him that he is quarterback one as of yet. Do we need to start looking something in? Do we need to start reading into this? Do we need to start reading between the lines? Do we need to start understanding what is going on in that front office, in that back office of why JJ McCarthy has not been named the starter in Minnesota yet? Guys, think about this. JJ McCarthy was taken 10th overall in the 2024 NFL draft. Yes, he did tear his meniscus in the preseason and missed all of 2024, and he does say he's 100% now, but he has yet to be named starter. Guys, JJ McCarthy is the only quarterback on that roster as of right now. If you go to NFL.com, if you go to ESPN.com, if you go to FoxSports.com, if you go to CBSSports.com, if you go to ManHourNFLTalk.com, the only quarterback on that roster is JJ McCarthy because we all pull from the same APIs. JJ McCarthy is the only roster quarterback on the Minnesota Vikings as of right now. But yet they still haven't named him the starter. They're not saying, hey, you are quarterback one. You are not the man, the myth, the legend, right? No, JJ McCarthy, you are not it. Guys, going into an offseason workout, it always feels nice to know that you are the starter. It always feels nice to know that you are the man. It makes you work a little bit harder. It makes you develop that leadership skills. It makes you drag people along with you. And with JJ McCarthy not being named the starter, when he's the only quarterback on the roster, it makes you scratch your head. Do you guys remember 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I sat here on the Man Hour and I said, Aaron Rodgers to the Minnesota Vikings makes sense. I was piggybacking on what Brett Favre said. I was piggybacking on what history has said. Guys, Aaron Rodgers to the Minnesota Vikings makes perfect sense. And do you remember us talking about the draft just a couple minutes ago? That there are no franchise-changing quarterbacks out there. That if Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders would have went in last year's draft, they would have probably been 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th quarterbacks off of the board. Guys, JJ McCarthy was the 4th quarterback off of the board. So therefore, in theory, by hindsight, by my words only, that JJ McCarthy is better than Cam Ward. JJ McCarthy is better than Shedeur Sanders. So if you are a quarterback-needy team, such as the Giants, such as the Raiders, such as the Titans, such as, the Cleveland Browns, such as the New York Football Jets, such as the Pittsburgh Steelers, are you calling the Minnesota Vikings and offering a first-round draft pick? Are you calling the Minnesota Vikings and offering potentially 2 first-round draft picks? Is that why the Minnesota Vikings have not named JJ McCarthy their starter yet? Is that why the Minnesota Vikings have not really remove their names from the Aaron Rodgers talk, but right? Guys, Aaron Rodgers is still linked to the Minnesota Vikings. Let's just be honest. Ryan Tannehill has also been linked to the Minnesota Vikings this offseason as well. Guys, to me, I am reading between the lines. Read between the lines, my man. There's a reason why Kevin O'Connell has not named JJ McCarthy the starter, despite him being the only quarterback on the roster. There's a reason why JJ McCarthy has not been named the starting quarterback in Minnesota, despite being the 10th overall draft pick in 2024. There is a reason why JJ McCarthy says he's 100%, but he says he's okay not being named the starter as well. Something is happening in Minnesota. Whether JJ McCarthy is not fully 100%, whether Kevin O'Connell is not fully sold on JJ McCarthy, or the Minnesota Vikings are fielding calls to trade JJ McCarthy. I am reading between the lines. I am potentially throwing spaghetti at a wall. Hopefully something sticks. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think there's a reason why JJ McCarthy has yet to be named the starter in Minnesota? Old Man River is because they're working out a deal with Aaron Rodgers. It has to be, right? Aaron Rodgers to the Minnesota Vikings makes sense. Makes perfect sense. The Minnesota Vikings can be a top team in the NFC, or they can be a 12th team in the NFC. That is how big of a gap quarterback play in Minnesota is going to be in 2025. Aaron Rodgers potentially could make them the best team in the NFC. Could. Not will, could. JJ McCarthy, if he is not good, Minnesota Vikings are not going to be very good. Vikings are legitimately our quarterback away. James Frank says maybe the email they sent got put in a spam folder. James, I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but the email is a dead technology. We are back to faxes now, so maybe he needs to hook up that fax line into his POTS line at his at his house, and maybe just maybe he might know that he has been traded. Maybe just maybe he just knows, like, hey, my man, you're going to Pittsburgh. My man, you're going to New York. Now, you guys are going to probably, especially those Minnesota Vikings fans. Man, I had the Minnesota Vikings fans at my throat all season long. I hate to say I told you guys so, but you were one and done. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. But Minnesota Vikings fans, do not hate me for this. You guys have a quarterback-friendly system. What do I mean by that? I mean that you guys can legitimately get any quarterback and plug and play. I feel that Kevin O'Connell is the quarterback whisperer, and he gets the best out of his players in that system that he has built in Minnesota. Look at Nick Mullins. Won him a game or two, right? Look at Josh Dobbs. Come in 2 days off of the street, won him a game. Sam Darnold was destined to be a career backup, came in and become a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. If you have the ability to get 2 first-round draft picks for JJ McCarthy, why not take them? If you have the ability to go out there and sign Aaron Rodgers to compete for the NFC North, why not do that? Yes, you're not going to have him for long term, a year, maybe 2, whatever, right? But you got 2 first-round draft picks because of Aaron Rodgers. Now, JJ McCarthy might be great in Minnesota. Could be great in Minnesota. Let's just say he will be great in Minnesota. But is he Super Bowl great? Is he back-to-back NFC North championships great? Is he a consistent 13-win team great? No, I don't think so. So if you send him to Pittsburgh, send him to New York, send him to, I don't know, where else could need a quarterback? Cleveland. Are those teams going to be great? No. Probably will end up being a top 10 pick overall in the 2026 NFL draft. Now all of a sudden you got a top 10 pick yet again in 2026 and potentially in 2027. And then you can go up there and package those deals, get to number 1 overall, and get Arch Manning. Minnesota Vikings, you don't need to play the long game. Play that long game. Play a little bit of 4D chess. Rich get a little bit richer. Send JJ off and bring in Aaron Rodgers or hell, even Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill's probably itching to play. At least he's not coming off an Achilles injury. James Frank says, I would rather have Shador or Ward than JJ McCarthy. Potentially. And I would concur with that a little bit. Going to the Browns, yes, give me a athletic quarterback because your offensive line's terrible, right? But if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, give me JJ. If you are the New York Giants, give me JJ, honestly. James Frank says, yep, Aaron Rodgers to the Minnesota Vikings still makes sense. It still makes sense. And James, Jim, John, Laura, rest of the people out there, all the pigskin pundits.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Even though you remove yourself from a conversation, because let's flash back to last week. The Minnesota Vikings said, you know what? We don't want Aaron Rodgers. We are removing ourselves from this conversation. When somebody doesn't want you, you want that person a hell of a lot more. When you're out there dating and the girl says she doesn't want you, what do? You consistently think about her. When you are a man and a girl is playing hard again and she doesn't want you and you move on and you start dating her friend, all of a sudden she loves you, she misses you, and she wants to be with you. Maybe that's what the Minnesota Vikings are doing with Aaron Rodgers. Maybe they're saying, we don't want you, but secretly we're trying to push you away so you come crawling to us. And we can get you for a $10 million deal, $12 million deal, $13 million deal, whatever it is, right? Maybe that's what the Minnesota Vikings are doing to Aaron Rodgers. And I think that's what they're doing. And I think that Aaron Rodgers to the Minnesota Vikings, it just makes sense. Like, how doesn't it make sense? Like, everybody that I've talked to, every time I put in a post up there saying that Aaron Rodgers to the Minnesota Vikings, everybody says, no, but you never told me why. Oh, he's washed up, he says, whatever. In New York, he didn't have any time. He had 2.5 seconds to throw the ball each and every snap. He had a defensive mind head coach that didn't know shit from his ass. Let's just be honest. Robert Sala's a great defensive-minded coach. Nathaniel Hackett, not a great offensive coordinator. What it is. Aaron Rodgers to the Vikings makes perfect sense. Rule changes. This is the time of year where the NFL draft happens, free agency happens, but most importantly, there are rule changes. There are rules proposed to be changed out there in the NFL. And if you guys remember, the Green Bay Packers have proposed a rule change to eliminate the tush push. Now, they're not trying to eliminate the play in general. They're trying to revert the NFL back to 2025 through 2013, where you cannot shove offensive players. So, guys, should the NFL eliminate said tush push? Should the NFL eliminate the ability to push offensive players? Now, I have heard many arguments about this. I have heard that, oh, you just can't stop it and you're jealous, yada, yada, yada. No. Me personally, as a defensive player, I think the tush push is highly geared toward the offense. Yes, the Philadelphia Eagles run it flawlessly. Yes, no other team can really run it the way the Philadelphia Eagles can, right? And the Philadelphia Eagles have taken full advantage of the rules. I'm not saying that they're cheating. I'm not saying they're playing in the gray area. I'm saying they take full advantage of the rules, and that is pushing the offense of players. What I am saying that they need to eliminate it because defensive players cannot push each other as well. If the defensive players were allowed to push each other, let's play ball, right? Prior to 2005, when I was in high school going into college, I was able to push my defensive linemen through the hole and let them go get sacks. I was able to jump off my lineman's back. I was able to take two guys and shove them and let me run free. NFL and college eliminated that. Many people eliminated that. Most leagues eliminated that from high school up through the NFL. And then all of a sudden, 2013, they're like, hey, let's bring it back. But only offensive guys. Guys, the tush push needs to go away. We need to stop being able to push players for an advantage, right? We need to stop being able to push offensive players forward. If defensive players can't do it, offensive players shouldn't be able to do it. So all in favor for the Green Bay Packers' new proposed rule change to eliminate, aka the tush push. No more pushing of the offensive players. Say aye. Aye. All opposed? Nay. Motion carried. 24-32. Rule has been changed. Deal with it, baby. Talk about Nick Chubb. Let's talk about Cleveland Browns and Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb signed a 1-year, $2.2 million deal with the Cleveland Browns this offseason, bringing him back to the team where he has given everything to. Guys, should the Cleveland Browns trade Nick Chubb? Should the Cleveland Browns officially just say, Nick Chubb, thank you for your services. Yes, we signed you to a 1-year, $2.2 million deal, but we're going to let you go. We're going to let you go because we need draft capital. We need some more cap space. Guys, should the Cleveland Browns trade Nick Chubb? When you look at the Cleveland Browns, after their reworked deals of Deshaun Watson and the massive stupid signing of Myles Garrett, they do have around $20 million in cap space after the reworked deals. With about $122 million wrapped up on the offensive side of the ball, they're still a bad offensive team. With no clear direction on the offensive side of the ball, everything is left in the hands of their quarterback issues. Whether Deshaun Watson is back or not, Kenny Pickett right now is the starting quarterback in Cleveland. Lots of questions with zero direct answers. They aren't even hypothetical answers. They're like, I don't know what to do with my hands. And that's where the Cleveland Browns are at right now. We don't know what to do with their hands. With all the dead cap hits, issues, presence in 2026 and beyond, the Browns have to nail the draft. It's simple as that. They have to nail each and every draft pick. And to do that, they need more and more draft picks. When you get more and more draft picks, you can miss on a 4th round guy. You can miss on a 3rd round guy. You can miss on a 5th round guy because you get the opportunity to get more picks on top of that. The Cleveland Browns guys need to put Nick Chubb on the market. They could probably get a 4th or 5th round draft pick for Nick Chubb. Let's just be honest. Now, I'm not saying Nick Chubb is going to be a running back 1 on those teams that potentially could trade him, but he could be a RB2. Now, when we think about this, what teams could possibly be calling the Cleveland Browns for a 4th or 5th round pick for a running back? I got several answers for you. The Dallas Cowboys, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Bears, the Chargers, and of course the New England Patriots. All of those teams could use an RB2, if not an RB1. Let's just be flat out honest. But I think Nick Chubb fits best for the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have 2 okay running backs, but they can easily replace Miles Sanders with Nick Chubb. And then the running back room would truly be the sky is the limit per Williams, with Nick Chubb and Williams in the backfield. So Cleveland Browns fans of Nick Chubb, Dallas Cowboys, you all need to be calling Cleveland Browns right now. You need to be offering a 4th or 5th round pick for Nick Chubb right now. And Cleveland Browns, you need to let him go away for that 4th or 5th round pick. You have no career direction on offense. You don't know if you want to be a passing team. You don't know if you want to be a running team. You don't know if you want to be well balanced. You don't know who your receivers are. You don't know who your quarterback is. Hell, you may not even have a coach come week 1. Get something out of Nick Chubb. Let him have an opportunity to go win a Super Bowl. Give him an opportunity to be on a winning team. Give him an opportunity to make you better as well. What do you guys think? Should the Cleveland Browns trade Nick Chubb? James is a Cleveland Browns fan. He said, no, we absolutely should not. No. Do not wish that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. I said, slow it down, James. Slow it down. Hear me out. Hear me out, James. You get that 4th round pick, 5th round pick potentially for Nick Chubb. You're sitting at number 2 overall. Yes, you need a quarterback, but you need other parts of the offensive line as well. Move back in the draft, much like the Tennessee Titans should. Move back in the draft, draft your offensive line, or maybe there's a running back out there. Maybe there's a guy out there that you could take, I don't know, at number 10, number 11 at all. Maybe there's a guy already wearing orange out there in college land that'd be perfect in Cleveland. Talk about Alshon Jeffries. Draft the man from Boise State. Replace Nick Chubb with him. Bada bing, bada boom, to the moon, baby. Come on, baby, slow it down. Alpha Rob says Chubb is done. Who would want him? The Dallas Cowboys would want him. The Las Vegas Raiders would want him. And honestly, I think he would be great in Chicago as well. Right? The Chicago Bears are needing that RB2. They're needing that 1-2 punch. The Dallas Cowboys makes the most sense. Alpha Rob, your Buffalo Bills make sense too. Y'all are going to just use and abuse James Cook anyways. Use and abuse Nick Chubb for $2.2 million. I'm just saying. James Frank says he's currently a free agent unless he's gotten a new deal and just re-signed him, which I hope they did. They did, James. I believe it was Saturday. It was a 1-year, $2.2 million deal. And I thought the same thing. It kind of flew under the radar, James. Like honestly, they kind of just slid in there like, oh, by the way, here's $2.2 million, Nick Chubb. And honestly, that's kind of a smack in the face. If you want to get technical, to me, that's a little bit smack in the face. My man gave you his heart and soul to you, dude. Blew out his knee 4 times for y'all. Brought in Kareem Hunt to basically replace him. Ended up being a nice little 1-2 punch, right? $2.2 million. Slow it down, baby. Old Man River says his knee is toast. He is done. Last season definitely looked like he was done. Last year definitely looked like he was not the Nick Chubb of old, right? Definitely looked like, man, Maybe you should just took the whole year off, brother. But hey, sometimes you have to party naked to realize that you have a small penis. James Frank says Alva Kamara to the Cowboys. I would agree with that, except for the Saints love them some Alva Kamara. Because they just signed him to like an $18 million, $20 million deal after he punched that dude in Vegas. Alvin Kamara, and he just reworked his deal, right, to stay with Saints and Derek Carr and Justin Reed and the rest of those boys, right? W, the Falcon UT's back in the chat today. What's up, W, the Falcon UT? Says, I think the Falcons should get Cam Johnson for Michigan. I have not looked at the Falcons' needs, wants, and desires in this year's draft yet. We can talk about them on Friday. So Friday, W, the Falcon UT, come back and we'll talk about your Atlanta Falcons. Let me do some research. Let me get a little bit of knowledge for you, and we'll go from there. And James Frank says, hold it up, baby. James Frank says, slow it down, baby.
Skin pun. Get yourself.
He says, for real? For real? Yeah, James, for real, for real. They signed Nick Chubb to a 1-year, $2.2 million deal. I said, take your money and shut up, boy. That's exactly what that was. Nick Chubb got bitch slapped. That's exactly what happened, James. That's exactly what happened, baby. All right, guys, it is time for a little bit of buy or sell. All right, guys, so buy or sell is very, very simple. We go across the NFL landscape. I sit on the old pooper. Get there on the old X machine at manhour_buck. If you guys are on the X machine, go over there and X me out. It's called Twitter. Tweet at me at manhour_buck. But that is where I get where the people are talking about. That is where I get where the people are starting to get fired up about something. And then we decide over here on manhourradio.com every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. If we're going to buy it, we want some more of it, or we're going to sell it. We don't want that no more. With that being said, guys, let's start the beautiful buy or sell. Talking about the Las Vegas Raiders. Talking about those Las Vegas Raiders that finished 4-13 last season, just barely missing the playoffs in 2024. That's right. They were this close to making the playoffs. I'm like, ah. Since then, they fired AP. They let Garner Minshew walk away. Some big parts on their defense have walked away as well. Traded, free agency, whatever. But this offseason, they hired Pete Carroll, and they traded for Geno Smith as well. So, guys, buy or sell. With the Raiders sitting at number 6 in this year's draft, they need to draft a quarterback. Buy or sell. When I first heard this trade of Geno Smith to the Las Vegas Raiders, joining his old long-term head coach and Pete Carroll over there from Seattle, I was like, really? Really? This is the direction that the Las Vegas Raiders are wanting to go? This is the direction that the Raiders are going to go? They're not. First of all, they couldn't tank right to get Shedeur Sanders, but then they're sitting at number 6, right? Geno Smith, guys, has done great things in Seattle for the last 3 seasons. The last 3 seasons, he has been a starter. He has kept the Seahawks competitive year after year after year. However, Geno Smith is 34 years old and hasn't shown signs that he can really lead a team deep into the playoffs. Geno Smith's shown that he really can't take charge of a team and be the leader and the general and the rah-rah guy. He will not lose you games if he's not go out there and win you games either. And in the playoffs, he is just 0-1. In which he played okay in that playoff game back in 2022. Let's not get it twisted. 253 yards for 2 touchdowns, but a huge interception to end the game. Now, as we see quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and Russell Wilson and Ryan Tannehill play into their 40s, it is not the norm. Let me repeat that. Quarterbacks or players in general playing into their 40s is not the norm in the NFL. Per statmuse.com, most quarterbacks peak between the age of 26 and 34, with most quarterbacks retiring by the age of 34. How old is Geno Smith, guys? He is 34 years old. Raiders like flashy young players. The Raiders like to take risk in the first round. Alex Leatherwood, Tyreek Wilson, Michael Huff, Tyler Brayton, just to name a few. Jamarcus Russell. With the 6th overall pick in this year's draft, they're kind of in that odd spot. They could move up and take Shedeur Sanders. They could move back and take Jackson Dart, or they can sit at number 6 and they can overpay for a quarterback like Jackson Dart. So guys, buy or sell. Will the Las Vegas Raiders take a quarterback at number 6 in this year's draft? And I think they're buying it. I think the Las Vegas Raiders are going to go out there on a limb, and they're going to see this high-rising Jackson Dart flying up the draft boards, being a potential second-round pick to a late first-round pick to a top 10 pick to, hell, why not draft him 6th overall? The Las Vegas Raiders are screaming to be great. They want to be great so bad that they're going to reach on each and every draft pick this season just because they know Pete Carroll's like 87 years old and he only has like 3 years left in his coaching career, and they want to be great so bad. Because I am buying that they're going to draft a quarterback. I am buying that they're going to overpay for a quarterback, overreach on a quarterback, a.k.a. Jackson Dart. I am buying that the Las Vegas Raiders will yet again be another 4 to 5, 6 win team in 2025. I have been right about the Raiders, guys, the last 3 seasons. I've been right about the Las Vegas Raiders a hell of a lot more than I've been right about any other team. I watch the Raiders a lot, and they're not very good. They don't draft well. They drafted well, a little bit well last year with Brock Bowers, yes, whatever. But they're going to overpay for Jackson Dart. I'm buying that they're going to draft a quarterback. What do you guys think? Buy or sell? Will the Las Vegas Raiders get a quarterback at number 6? Old Man River says, I'm selling. I'm thinking of running it back, though. So it sounds like to me, Old Man River, that you're waffling around a little bit. Now, I understand you're
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
I understand you are a pigskin pundit. If you guys want to be like Old Man River, click on the membership tab below, become a pigskin pundit, get some free merch and free entries into all of our giveaways. But you can't waffle around. It's either you buy it, you like it, or you sell it, you're like, no, that's not going to happen. They're not running anything back. And Joey Meatloaf says Geno needs Gentry. Geno needs a lot more than Gentry. Geno needs a healthy Las Vegas Raiders team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Geno Smith needs a receiver. Geno Smith needs a younger head coach. Geno Smith needs about 10 years off of his NFL life, or added on to his NFL life. Gentry is not going to make or break the Las Vegas Raiders this season. But I do like it. But at 6, that's tough. That's tough. Jim Powell's a pigskin pundit.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
He says, yes, I am buying that they're going to draft Will Howard at number 6 overall. Jim, slow it down, baby. Somebody get this man another beer because he is drunk off his ass. No way Will Howard's going top 5, baby, or top 10. There's no way Will Howard's going day 1 or day 2. Now, if you would tell me he's a 4th round pick or a 5th round pick, I'd be like, okay, let's go, baby. Let's go, my man Will Howard. Let's go, baby. But number 6, slow it down. Now, for Rob says sell. Alpha Rob thinks the Las Vegas Raiders know what they're doing. Alpha Rob thinks that the Las Vegas Raiders have finally figured out how to draft with Tom Brady at the helm now, right? The whole 3% owner that he is. He's going to make all the difference in the world. All the difference in the world, brother. Slow it down, baby. But listen, I do have to give credit where credit is due. Since the Raiders took the quarterback from Kentucky, number 1, like the 20th overall pick, a couple years ago, what was his name? And turned him into a receiver when they could have got him like the fifth round and done the same thing. They have been doing a little bit better. They've been doing a little bit better. And Jim Powell says, national champion, no respect. Chip Kelly is getting his man. Jim, Chip Kelly is one hell of a college coach. Chip Kelly may be one of the best offensive coordinators, offensive-minded coaches in the college game. There's a reason why Chip Kelly got ran out of Philadelphia. There's a reason why Chip Kelly got ran out of San Francisco. There's a reason why Chip Kelly is finally getting himself back into the NFL as the offensive coordinator with the old college coach of Pete Carroll as well. Chip Kelly does not respect NFL players. Chip Kelly doesn't understand the NFL game. Chip Kelly is a hell of a college coach. Do not get it twisted. But every player that I've talked from Ohio State, every player that I've heard speak about Chip Kelly when he was the coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, they do not like him. He's a great mind, great X's and O guy, but they do not like him. And in college, you can work around that. You have 1, maybe 2 seasons with the guy. I can handle you for 1 or 2 seasons. But a career in the NFL? Nah, buddy. Go kick rocks. Go kick rocks. Jim Powell says, is Tay-Tay a free agent this year? Whoever has her is in the Super Bowl, baby! Listen, Tay-Tay might be a free agent. But she's coming with baggage. She's coming with baggage. The real McCoy says, hell, you better have a chance. Brady is coming out of his retirement and quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. Real McCoy, I like where your head's at. That's the only true impact that Tom Brady might have on the Las Vegas Raiders. Being a majority owner, like 3% or 10%, whatever he is, like, do you really have a say? Let's just be honest. Do you really have any say of what you're doing in there? Let's just be honest about it. Yeah, I hear you. I know you got like 7 Super Bowl rings, but really, shut up here. And if I'm not mistaken, if Tom Brady were to come out of retirement, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still own his rights. I could be wrong on that, guys. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe if he were to come out of retirement, he would have to go back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they would have to release him, cut him, trade him, do whatever. But it is what it is. Next up here, guys, on the buy or sell. Buy or sell, guys, is very, very simple. It's a live, interactive show. If you want to buy it, you like it, you want some more of it. If you want to sell, you say, get out of town. I don't like that no more. Let's talk about quarterbacks. Let's talk about the New York Jets and Justin Fields. Let's talk about this quarterback signing that could have changed the whole AFC landscape with the single signing of Justin Fields. The New York Football Jets picked up Justin Fields this offseason on a 2-year deal. The Jets quarterback room currently has Tyrod Taylor in it, Jordan Travis, Adrian Martinez, and Justin Fields. Have 4 quarterbacks on the roster, and presumably that Justin Fields will be the starting quarterback in New York in 2025. But guys, buy or sell? Will the Jets draft a quarterback at number 7? Will the Jets go out there and make a play for a Jackson Dart? Will the Jets go out there and draft a quarterback in the first round of this year's draft? The Jets have been at odds with themselves the last 10 seasons. The last 10 seasons, they have struck out after strikeout with quarterbacks. Between Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian, Mike White, Joe Flacco, Sam Darnold, Luke Falk, Josh McCown, Bryce Petty, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Geno Smith, they've all missed on their quarterbacks. The Jets are kind of the new Cleveland Browns. That is where you send quarterbacks to die. And now with the most recent of Aaron Rodgers, they are at loss again. Yes, the signing of Justin Fields has a huge upside. Yes, Justin Fields has a huge ceiling. Yes, Justin Fields can lead you to the Super Bowl, the playoffs, and potentially winning the AFC East. Yes, he can. But also, on the flip side, he has a huge downside. He has a very, very low floor. He can turn the ball over a lot. He can make bad reads. He can only win you 1 or 2 games. There's a huge upside and a huge downside of Justin Fields. Justin Fields has never been a top 20 quarterback ever in his NFL career. He has had sparks of greatness, couple games here, couple plays there, but he's never more than 2 games in a row. Hell, it took Justin Fields 3 seasons to win back-to-back games in Chicago. So, guys, buy or sell. Should the New York Jets take a quarterback at number 7? I am selling this, that the New York Giants or Jets should take a quarterback at number 7. If they are going to take a quarterback, period, they need to move up or they need to move back. Now, if they were able to move up to number 1 or to number 2, go out there and get your Shedeur Sanders. Go out there and get your Cam Ward, right? Could be a pretty good fit. But if you're going to say that number 7, you better add offensive line. If you're going to say that number 7, you better add some safety help. If you're going to sit there at number 7, there's a lot more options than quarterback. I am selling this because I think Justin Fields will be good in New York. I'm not saying he will be great. I'm not saying he will be a top tier quarterback. I'm not saying he'll be a top 10 quarterback. I think he will be good. 14th, 13th, 12th type of ranked quarterback in the NFL for New York. Plus some old faces there that he used to get to play with, Garrett Wilson. But I'm selling to the fact that the Jets will take a quarterback at number 7. So, well, what do you guys think? Buy or sell? Will the New York Football Jets take a quarterback at number 7? Old Man River
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
said Justin Fields will continue to run for his life. Sell, sell, sell. So Old Man River saying sell because they need to draft some offensive line. Get some offensive linemen in there and then build your quarterback room. Just like we talked about the Tennessee Titans. How do you build a team? Offensive line. Start on the border of the pole and then you work your way in. Build an offensive line up, right? I get it. Jim Powell says it's going to be hilarious when they get a wild card meeting the Jets and Aaron Rodgers is watching with Bill Belichick. Sell, 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 Mahomer. More timer. What is more timer? But Jim is saying sell. Sell, sell, sell. Rio McCoy says, get a good offensive line, give Field a chance. So sell, sell, sell. I think everybody is on the same page here. They just need offensive line. Get an offensive line and protect Justin Fields. You tried to protect Aaron Rodgers with some old-ass line. Let's just be honest. That line was old in New York. You try to pick a cut that, or you try to fix a cut that needed stitches with a Band-Aid, and it just didn't work. Get some offensive line in there, and let's go, baby. And Jim Powell says the Bears suck at quarterback coaching. Steelers didn't use him right. And honestly, Jim, I think the Steelers used Justin Fields pretty well. They ran the ball, they won with defense, and they threw when they needed to. Yes, he only had like 100 yards passing this game and 87 yards passing this game, but he was still 4-2 as a starter. I think the Steelers used Justin Fields perfect. They just didn't give him the whole year. Alpha Rob says sell. They need more. The Jets do need more. They need offensive line. They need defense. They need a kicker. They need a coach. Jim Powell says Mortimer is a traditional place. Shout out with Eddie Murphy. Listen, I know who Eddie Murphy is, but I'd never heard of a movie called Trading Places. Jim, how old are you? I mean, like, I am no movie snob by any stretch of the imagination. I am no, like, oh, that Blazing Saddles back in 1967 was freaking awesome. I haven't seen a lot of those movies, but I've never even heard of Trading Places. Is this a much movie that I need to go watch? Is this a movie that I need to sit alone in my room and like watch? Because my boss told me to go watch Blazing Saddles, and I was shocked that we made a movie like that back in the day. When did that come out? Like the 70s or 80s or whatever, with like Gene Wilder and like what and whatnot. Blazing Shadows, like, whoa, shit. Y'all allowed to do that? Building the railroad tracks and everything? Like, good Lord, that was crazy. Jim Powell says, isn't that how the Eagles won the Super Bowl? Yeah. Yeah. And the Steelers would have been in the Super Bowl if they would have stuck with Justin Fields. Let's just be honest. But guys, buy or sell. Will the Jets draft a quarterback at number 7? Just in the first round period. I'm saying sell. Sell, sell, sell. And the last buy or sell of the day, we got to go back to the quarterback room. We got to go back to the draft. And we're going to go to the number 2 overall pick in 2025. And that is the Cleveland freaking Browns, which they currently hold the 2nd overall draft pick in 2025. They have singular healthy quarterback on the roster as of right now, a.k.a. Kenny Pickett. The man, the myth, the legend himself. Mr. Two Gloves, I have 5-inch hands, Kenny Pickett. So guys, buy or sell. The Cleveland Browns need to draft a quarterback at number 2. Much like teams like the Giants, the Raiders, the Jets, the Browns are kind of at an odd spot, right? Now, this was taking notes down previously before we found out that Russell Wilson just signed with the New York Giants. But Russell Wilson came on his own dime to Cleveland and left without a contract. At the time, we did not know this, but Russell Wilson was asking for about $20 million per season. And the Browns only have $20 million in cap space as of right now. So they wouldn't be able to sign Russell Wilson and any other rookies in this year's draft. Now, there are other quarterbacks out there looking for homes, free agent quarterbacks. Joe Flacco, Desmond Ridder, Trey Lance, Ryan Tannehill, but obviously none of them are franchise quarterbacks by any stretch of the imagination. Now, if the Browns are bad again in 2020-25, which I expect them to be, then they can draft a quarterback. I think the Browns need to move out of that number 2 overall pick. So I am selling. I am selling that I think the Browns will not draft a quarterback at number 2. I think the Browns will move back to number 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Because truth be told, the Browns need a lot of offensive help. They need a receiver. They need a running back. They need some offensive line as well. They need to build the puzzle the outside looking in. Yes, they will need a quarterback. Yes, they will need a running back. Yes, they do need an offensive line and receiver. They have a lot of holes to fill. But I don't think Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward is a franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I think the Cleveland Browns need to stay far, far away from both of those players and draft offensive line. This is a rich offensive line draft, and they need to use it. Need to use it. Jim Powell says Sanders to Cleveland when it would be fitting. Because he's going to go there to rot. He is going to go there to suck. He is going to go there to be like, I don't know what to do with my hands anymore. Daddy, come save me. I bet you Dion won't allow him to go to Cleveland. Old Man River says sell. They just restructured. Yes, they restructured Deshaun Watson's contract to free up $20 million. But that's all they got. And they need a lot more than a quarterback. Real McCoy says the Brown needs the new owner more than a quarterback. Browns will always be losers. Oof, Real McCoy better put those cats away. Put that Colt 45 back in the pocket and simmer down now. But you are right. You are right. The Browns are the lovable losers. The Browns will never be great. The Browns will never be a Super Bowl team. The Browns will never be a playoff team ever again as long as they're currently constructed. Blow it up, baby. My man Mike Reeves in the chat says sell. They need a quarterback, but they most likely will trade out of and acquire assets. Potentially bringing in Kirk Cousins. They're there to be a bridge until next season when they have a top 7 pick to get their guy next season. Mike, I'm glad you brought that up because we have talked a lot about Kirk Cousins on this show, about the potential of trading of Kirk Cousins from the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are like, nah, we are keeping him. We want a backup. We're not interested. But now news is starting to come out. Now news is starting to surface that the Atlanta Falcons are going to be a draft day trade with Kirk Cousins. So they are expecting a team like the Cleveland Browns, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, like potentially the Jets or an other team, right, to come out there and offer a potential first-round pick or a second-round pick for the quarterback of Kirk Cousins. And honestly, Kirk Cousins to the Browns does make it does make sense. A nice little bridge gap guy, but I don't know how the cap situation would flourish, right? Because obviously Kirk Cousins is still owed about $27 million. Give or take, might be $37 million. I cannot remember for sure. But the Browns do not have enough money to cover that cap. The Browns might be just good enough with Kirk Cousins not to get a top 7 pick next season. That is tough. But Jim Powell is saying bye. Shedeur Sanders to Cleveland. Bye. 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 All right, guys, it is time to move on. We are the last 10, 15 minutes of today's show, guys. We are live, raw, uncut NFL talk every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Guys, we are part of the Believe Network. You can find us on Bally Sports Talk as of April 15th on the old TV webs over there in Chicago and Milwaukee. And, of course, you're going to find us on all their platforms as well at BelieveNetwork.com. So, guys, Fact or Crap is very, very simple. Either you like it, it's a fact, baby. Or if it's a crap, you hate it, you dislike it, I don't like it no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. Now, with the first Fact or Crap, we got to talk about the Chicago Bears. I know I said I was done hyping up the Chicago Bears. I know I said I would not buying anything about the Chicago Bears in the month of March, April, May, June, July, August, or September, or October, or hell, even November. Maybe not even till December. But after all the hirings, all the signings, and all the trades this offseason, guys, fact or crap, are the Chicago Bears going to compete in the NFC North in 2025? Guys, the Chicago Bears, like I said, they added all of their pieces that they needed. They needed offensive line. They added Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson. They needed an edge rusher. They picked up Jarrett Grady and Deo, just to name a few. They hired Ben Johnson, a really, really good offensive coordinator in Detroit, a really, really good wide receiver tight end coach in Miami, and he knows how to put the people in the right position, and he's going to be a great support system for Caleb Williams. So, guys, fact or crap, can the Chicago Bears compete in the NFC North and potentially win the NFC North in 2025? I do not want to buy the hype into the Chicago Bears. I don't. I wish ill will on the Chicago Bears. I'm just kidding. My man BC Combs is a huge Chicago Bears fan. And if you guys like Chicago Bears sports talk in general, Cubs, White Sox, head over to the Windy City Sports Talk and listen to him and Fitz. But I had to say crap. I have to say crap because at the end of the day, it is still the Chicago Bears, right? At the end of the day, the NFC North is still the best division in football from top to bottom. Now, I'm not saying that the Chicago Bears cannot make the playoffs. It would not shock me one bit if all 4 teams from the NFC North are in playoff conversations come week 16 and beyond. It would not shock me one bit if all 4 NFC North teams make the playoffs. It would not shock me one bit if they're all within a 1 or 2 games of each other come the end of the season. But it is crap. I do not think that the Chicago Bears can win the NFC North. I do not think that the Chicago Bears have enough to overtake the Detroit Lions this season. I do not think that the Chicago Bears have enough to overtake the Green Bay Packers this season. I do think that they can compete with the Minnesota Vikings with the whole quarterback situation going on there, right? But I still think the Chicago Bears are a 4th place team. I think they're a winning 4th place team. I think they're a playoff bound fourth place team, but they are not winning the NFC North. They're not competing in the NFC North, and they're not even going to really challenge for the NFC North. So I am saying crap. So guys, fact or crap? Can the Chicago Bears compete or win the NFC North in 2025? Old Man River says crap. He says Old Man River says it's just the Bears. They're the lovable losers, just like the Browns. We love them, but hey, they're not going to be any good. Bring back Jay Cutler and maybe, just maybe. And Jim Powell is dropping some swagger tonight. He says they're the number 1 most rizzed team in the league. It is a fact, baby. First of all, what is Riz for one? I know my nephew uses it all that just like all the time. And now my 7-year-old starting to to like use it, but riz is a slang term that refers to a person's ability to charm or seduce someone, especially through verbal communication, and is often used to describe someone with a charismatic and attractive attitude. So the Bears are riz. That means they're fact. That since they can charm me, and since they're attractive, it's fact. Huh, Jim? Okay. And an old member says they did all that. They signed Joe Tooney, or they traded for Joe Tooney. They signed Joe Jackson. They brought in Dayo. They brought in Jarrett Grady, all just to be a fourth place team. Hey, that fourth place team could upset the number 2 team in the NFC. Could upset the number 3 team. The Bears have an opportunity, but I'm with you, Old Man River. Crap. Mike Reeves says all caps fact, baby. Ben Johnson is the man and has a lot of the pieces in place. Caleb has all the talent and watch the Bears be a sleeper team to take one of the top rookie running backs in this year's draft, which honestly they should. If the Bears do not trade for Nick Chubb, if the Bears do not go out there and get a potential free agent running back out there right now to add to that room, they should be out there getting Alshon or Gentry. They should be out there getting the guy from Arizona State. They should be out there banging on the Kansas State doors like, hey, got any running backs over there? Yeah, you got any running backs over there? With the little crack itch, right? That's what they should be doing. And W, the Falcon OT, says, crap, baby! He says, let me break it down for you. W, the Falcon UT, knows all about crap teams. He's an Atlanta Falcons fan. Says, let me break it down for you. The Bears suck. Caleb Williams sucks. DJ Moore sucks. Keenan Allen's going to find a new team, but he sucks anyways. Rome sucks. Joe Tooney sucks. I'm just making all that up. But you get what I'm saying. But guys, that is going to be it for today. We'll catch you back tomorrow. Same time, same place, 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here at YouTube.com, of course, Facebook.com, and of course, you can find us on the Believe Network each and every day as well. Until then, guys, we are out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you're ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is Man Hour NFL Talk. Let's go.